I like to come usually this time of year just to kind of give you an update after we have our annual meeting, and thank you, Tom, for attending that night. Hopefully you've got your copy of our annual meeting report. We just try to highlight some of the programs that we do every year. Obviously, there are a lot of them. We just try to highlight some of the more successful ones, maybe some of the newer programs. And so we tried to do that, and so you have a copy of that. I also sent a copy of what I called our 2013 update. It was on our letterhead. And you know that we were downsized about 3 years ago. So there are 2 educators in the county, and I think that the downsizing has finally sort of filtered down, and people are starting to ask questions because we have reduced programs. Some of our numbers have been reduced, that sort of thing, and people are saying, why aren't you at that meeting? You know, why aren't we doing this workshop anymore? Some of those sorts of things. So I put together this update to explain to not only our constituents, but to those that help fund us, to help sponsor us, just to kind of give them a historical perspective of what's happened. And then we work with our extension board. We meet with them 5 or 6 times a year. They are the group that helps us to decide what programs we're going to do, what programs we're not going to do. They help us to, you know, to see if we're meeting the needs of the county or not. So anyway, so they helped us to put this together, as well as to help us figure out, you know, what programming-wise. So what we've tried to do for 2013 is to make the programs better reflect the funding that we have available to us. So anyway, I don't know if you have if you've had a chance to look over that or not, if you have any questions on it. Not really asking for any kind of an action. It's just kind of an explanation of where we are right now and why we're doing what we're doing.
I probably should know this, Cindy, but is our state the only state that has land-grant universities, or does every state have one?
Every state has at least one.
So they have a sponsor that would go federal to state
Yes.
to local.
Yes. Yeah.
So every
Yep.
state has.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that we're called Cooperative Extension because nationwide, that's how it works. On the federal level, we're all part of USDA. On the state level, we're all part of the land grant. And then on down to the county level.
Okay.
So, yeah. And the land grant university is the university that houses the College of Agriculture in every state. And every state has at least one, some have 2.
It was a very good program. Good.
Yeah.
The food was excellent.
Thank you.
Let me know if you have one next week. But they had the extension agent, right, from LaGrange,
Yes.
talking about small farms, and really was very interesting.
Yeah. And Whitley County has a lot of small farms. A lot of small farms. Yeah.
So it was very informative.
Good. I also wanted to share with you our newsletter. George, if you know, we've been battling copy machines, but we've started printing our own newsletter now instead of having it hired out. So this is the 3rd one that we've done in-house. The one we did in January was a different format, but we found out right away that people didn't like it, and it was really tough to send via email. So we've just gone to an 8.5 by 11 format size. We really like doing it in-house, partially because timing. We've cut down our time about a week or so as far as, you know, when we sent it to the printer and we got it back, and we can control the mistakes better with us doing it. Cost-wise, we're still kind of figuring that out, but it hasn't, as far as money, it hasn't been a huge saver, but we've saved a lot with time, and with, we think, the professionalism of it.
Do you do your own formatting then?
Yes, yes. And with the help of the chamber, they have given us some help as far as the marketing end of it and the design of the front cover, because we felt like that needed to have some updating on it. So anyway, so we are really pleased with this. It may not be in its final format yet. We still are tweaking it a little bit, but anyway, we really like being able to do it in-house now.
Good.
So that's working out okay.
And the printing problems are been taken care of?
I wouldn't go that far.
We're getting there?
Maybe. The last time Brad came to visit us, he thinks that we need 2 machines. I'm not convinced that that will solve the issue. I'm thinking that just means we have 2 machines that are going to break down on us.
Yeah.
But he said that he was going to try to find us another good refurbished machine and get back with us. And that's been a couple of weeks ago. Haven't heard from him since then. So, and we had probably an hour conversation with him, and I told him that he's the expert on the machines.
Right.
You know, I just know what we need, and that's kind of what I said. We just need a machine that works.
Right.
It doesn't need to be the top of the line, all the bells and whistles, but having 2 and 3 service calls a week is just not getting it.
Yeah.
And I expressed a lot of frustration with that. And I think he heard that, so.
Yeah, I haven't heard
I'm,
anything about that, so I'll have to get.
yeah, so I'm not sure what's, if he's found anything or not on that, so.
We're gonna take care of it.
Okay, super. So, any questions on the,
So, one question I've got is,
okay.
it looks like there's a lot of reduced programs.
Mhm.
What do you do when you're reducing programs? Just
Maybe not having as many. What's one of the examples?
like 4-H recruiting.
Oh, okay. And that would be a good example. We used to go to every single school and set up a table during parent-teacher conference, during kindergarten roundup, during lunch hours. So we'd set up a table at every single school, either in February or March. And we just don't have the time to get into every single school now. So this year we hit Busco and we hit South Whitley, but we did not get into any of the Columbia City schools.
I see the community health fairs have been eliminated.
Yeah.
Partnership with junior achievement.
Yeah, Dave and I both used to partner with Junior Achievement, go into the classrooms and teach, and we're not doing that anymore.
Just a time.
Yeah, just a time thing, yeah. Because most of at least the ones that I taught were like 6-week commitments. Loved doing it, absolutely loved it. But just, time-wise, we weren't able to.
Big commitment.
And the community health fairs, one of the examples with that is USSI has a health fair, a wellness fair every year, 3 years in February, or 3 years, 3 days in February. And I've always gone out and set up a table. And we just decided that, that just probably wasn't the best use of our time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I have nothing, no,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you,
Switching
Cindy.
gears, I do have one question. 2 or 3 years ago, the Literacy Council came and they had been, they were moving out of the Marshall Building, needed a place to go. So we've been sharing part of our office with them. They moved their classes out, we think maybe sometime last summer, and most of their classes are taking place at Work 1. As far as we know, nobody has been in that office space since before Christmas. Tracy Peterson was the director. We do know that she is now fully employed at IPFW. There was a secretary that we have heard is now employed somewhere else. So we're just kind of wondering what's going on with that space, and if they're not going to use it, we'd like to have it back. We certainly could use another meeting room.
look into that.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
They didn't say anything when they moved out?
Well, the stuff is still there, like where the secretary was, all of her stuff is still there, and then they had another office. And as far as we know, you know, like the desk and computers and all of that are still there. But all of the signs have been taken down. We never, since Christmas, we have not seen anybody there.
It's a good sized space too.
Yeah.
This is the literacy council?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Who's,
Yeah.
do you know who's the head of that?
Well, as far as we know, they don't have a director right now. I did talk.
Mayor? They don't? Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
When Tracy left, apparently she was not replaced. And
Well, we better find out
I mean, I don't know.
what they're going
So.
to do, and
I think there is still a board, but
And they're going through some planning stuff, I do know that, but actually Carol Nolan is the president of that board, but she's not very active at the moment because of health issues, but if you need a contact, that's the only name that I know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Or Phil Beard,
Phil used to be on the board, I don't think he is.
he would know.
Who's that?
Phil Beard.
Yeah, they'll remember he contacted.
okay. Okay. And we're still willing to share, but if they're not going to use it, then
Right,
we will.
Sure.
So, okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.
Uh-huh.